going to show you how to create an introduction theme for your podcast. It's going to include a little bit of music and a voiceover, something that you can upload to Alitu and you can use it every single time to introduce your episode. And the same process will work for an outro as well if you want to create something similar. So the first thing we need, of course, is some music. So we've got some pre-recorded music here. That was sourced royalty-free music. You need to make sure you're okay to use that music itself. You can see it's quite a long track, nearly 6 minutes long, so we're going to have to cut that down, and I'll show you how to do that in a little moment. Then I'm going to bring in the voiceover. So this is a pre-recorded little bit of voice just to introduce the show, and you can generally create that yourself. You're just saying, welcome to the show. This show is all about blah, 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 and let's get on with the podcast itself. So what I'm going to do is draw that into Audacity as well. Now you can see that this has come in on just the left track. So the way that was recorded meant it was just on the left. So what we can do is split stereo to mono, get rid of the other one. Most likely you won't have to do that. You'll just have one side or a stereo track itself. Now to edit down the audio, what I'm going to do first is, I know through testing, you might have to do a bit of this yourself, that a good place to start this is actually about 45 seconds. This track really starts to kick in about there. So I'm going to delete everything before 45 seconds. Of course, do that file, edit, remove audio or labels, and then you've got the delete option here, and that brings it back down here. Now I want to fade it in, so I'm going to fade it in over the first 3 seconds or so. In fact, no, the first second, just make it quite a short fade. So I'm just going to select that first second. You can see it by the little delineators up here. And then I'm going to use effect, and I'm going to go fade in. And you can see that that now fades in. So if I go back and play from the very start, that fades in, okay. So now what we want to do is get the voice playing. So I'm going to just delete that little gap at the start there. I'm just using the delete key on my keyboard, and I'm going to use this time shift tool. So it's the one with the 2 arrows, an arrow on either end. I'm going to drag this along a bit, and again through testing we've discovered that about the best place to bring this in is about 3 seconds. So there's the 3 second mark there. That lines up about there. Now what I want to do is make sure that the music fades down there. So for that I'm going to use the envelope tool. So click the envelope tool there. And the way this works is that you click on the blue lines either side and you can start to draw it around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to fade it down at about 3 seconds. So I'm going to click around there, just on the blue line. You can see that creates a little dot. Then if I click another one just a little bit further along and then click on it, I can drag that around and you can see that starts to envelope it. You can see it starts to fade it down. So I'm going to bring it down to about there, and I'm going to listen to how that sounds. That sounds good. I'm just going to bring this along just a touch so that the music has a chance to fade down before the voice kicks in. So that's that in about the right place now. Now we want to get the end of it sorted. So you can see obviously that the music is a lot longer than it needs to be. So we're going to cut it off in around here. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to cut off that little silence at the end of the voice there. Just hit the delete key on my keyboard. And then what we want to do is fade the music right out for the few seconds after this to give it a chance to fade into the main part of the show. So what I'm going to do is cut it off from probably about 5 seconds after the voice. So what are we on here? 52, so that's up to 57. So I'm going to cut it off from 57 onwards. Zoom right out. And I'm going to just drag and highlight that whole last section. Hit delete on the keyboard. Zoom back in. And all I'm going to do now is select that part. So everything after the voice, and fade that out over 5 seconds. So effect and fade out. And that fades it right out after the voice finishes. And this 5 second long fade gives us a good section to overlap the actual show audio. So we're going to overlap the show audio by a few seconds so that the intro finishes and it actually fades out into the actual the show audio. So that's how you create an intro. That's all we need. Really, all it is a bit of music, which plays for a few seconds at the start, fades out so that it acts as a bed, just at maybe 50%, 40% volume through the voiceover, and then fade out at the end so it fades into the main show. And that's all we need. From here, all we do is export the whole file. Move that over so you can see it. File and export. Take it right across. File and export, and we're going to export that as an MP3 or a WAV. In fact, a WAV is better because it's used as an intro, and we'll be converting it to an MP3 at the end anyway. So we're going to export that as a WAV file, and then we can upload that straight to Alitu.